Oh, BKB. I've got some new skills. I've got extraordinary focus. And I think I got another thing from Hina now that I remember. Actually, what does that do? I should probably check. Let's see. Increase the focus gauge by 2, effective during the class trial. Alright, cool. It would be even cooler if I remembered how to use that. Anyway, melodious voice, increased damage to the opponent when statement is destroyed. Ambidextrous allows you to lock on to 2 statements at once, effective during the bullet time battle. Oh, neat. Alrighty. And, yep, I guess we're good. Let's crack this case open like a walnut.
Let's begin with a basic.
We already know how the class trial goes, you evil man. Bear. Man-bear.
Who did it?
Or did we?
Was that?
It was Hiro. He does not have an alibi for when the murders took place, and we found him in that suit.
That's what you want us to believe, but I don't believe.
Don't try and deny it. You killed them.
But he didn't.
I didn't. Someone knocked me out. I was asleep the whole time. I don't know anything about it.
I don't know. Maybe it's because this guy just reminds me so much of an old friend of mine, like I said before. Dude was he was an idiot and paranoid and all about the occult and what have you, but by God, he wouldn't hurt anybody no matter how hard he tried.
Shut your murdering mouth, murderer!
Shut your face!
Who are you calling a murderer?
Well, she's calling you a murderer, but I see what you're trying to get here.
I am sorry to say, Hiro, but we do have evidence.
And I have evidence to the contrary.
Blueprints for the suit.
That are not written in your handwriting.
Parts we assume were used to build it.
Because, of course, he's the master guy who builds stuff. It's not like there was an actual artist on this entire place that might have been able to do it.
And all of it was found in your room. You have to admit, the evidence is quite compelling.
Yeah, Lord forbid someone planted evidence. That's never happened in the history of crimes.
It points to you as having created the suit and wearing it while committing crime after crime.
How many times do I have to tell you? I don't know.
He doesn't know! Is Hiro really the killer, or is it Celeste, like it's obviously obvious? For anything else, we have to make that clear. Alright, let's make some arguments and what have you, as I relearn all of the controls.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough.
They are not.
You are the culprit.
Nah.
I don't know anything about that stuff. It's not true. It's a conspiracy.
The most conspiracy of all.
Oh, why? Why did you kill them?
No, just hold on a second.
Okay, so I guess it was one of the earlier statements. I mean, looking at the blueprints, that handwriting is awfully messy. Oh! Okay, you want me to point that out.
Everything we found in your room.
Mm-hmm.
The blueprints,
Wrong button! Booyaka shaka lies and slander! I'll blow this case right open.
Are we sure Hiro really made those blueprints?
I have evidence to support the fact that he did not.
what do you mean?
Look at all this evidence, woman!
Well, take a look at this.
I'm about to drop so much factual knowledge.
It's the note that Hiro wrote, asking everyone to meet up after Alter Ego disappeared.
Like, seriously, dude's handwriting is like a font.
The handwriting's obviously different, wouldn't you say?
This is basic detectiving 101.
When you compare it to the blueprints.
There's no way you could think the same person made both of them.
True dat.
Unless that person made it a point to disguise their handwriting.
Well, that would be awfully forward thinking.
No, the differences are bigger than that, I think.
And she would know things about big stuff. She's very large.
Come on. I'm not smart enough to think of trying to change my handwriting anyway.
To be fair, that is accurate.
So Makoto, are you saying you don't think Hiro's the culprit?
That is what I believe.
He's not the only one. I think Hiro is innocent as well.
Huzzah! This first part might not be difficult then. What?
Then who was in that Robo-Justice suit?
No, it was definitely still him.
Is it like Hiro said? Was there really someone running around in a second suit?
I mean, that would have been awesome. I mean, I do have to admit, I don't know every last minute detail on how this all works out. But yeah, I'm still not entirely sure. I mean, I can clear Yasuhiro of all the stuff, but the picture of him holding on to Hifumi, that I'm confused by.
The suspicious individual hidden within the suit. Go ahead, Makoto. Tell them who it was.
Uh-huh. And of course, he passes it off to me.
Who was in the Robo-Justice suit?
Calm your hair down, girl. The suspicious individual in question was the Illuminati! It was Hina. No, it was definitely Hiro. I'm confident in that much.
Hero. I can't think of anyone else it could have been. Obviously, he was the one in that particular suit. And we never found any kind of second suit.
Then there can be no doubt. Hiro is the prime suspect.
He is.
That doesn't make any sense. You just said Hiro didn't do it.
Because he didn't.
It makes perfect sense. Hiro was the suspicious individual in the suit, but he's not the culprit.
'Twas a conspiracy.
So what you're saying is...
That's right. The culprit in this case has nothing to do with being in the Robo-Justice suit.
True dat.
What?
What?
Now that's a bold assumption.
And you're a bold ugly.
And what reason do you have to make such a statement? You do have a reason, yes?
Plenty. I just don't know the proper order in which to present them.
Of course. But before we get to that,
Makoto, you do the hard work.
there's something else we need to clarify first. So let's get that out of the way.
Okay.
Hey, stop trying to boss us around.
He's been doing it all this time so far. I can't imagine he's gonna stop now.
All things have a proper order.
So what is it? What needs to be clarified?
He would know better than me.
We must clarify the method of transportation for Taka's lifeless body.
Hey,
It would seem that his corpse was moved using certain particular items.
true dat.
Makoto, can you tell us what they were?
I can, although I wish you'd actually do something for once. The things that were used were, first and foremost, the blue tarp.
I got it!
There's still one more thing. It was also the dually. The dually.
I got it!
Hello, Dolly.
They were a dolly and a tarp, right?
Well, I picked a tarp and a dolly, but sure, whatever. Tomato. What's with the attitude?
So, let's see if I can explain. Taka's body disappeared from the equipment room. And then we rediscovered it in the repository. And when we found it for the second time, it was wrapped in a blue tarp, right?
Well, not wrapped,
It
but
was the same tarp that up until then was stored in the equipment room.
admittedly, there were more than one tarps.
So the killer must have seen it there and decided to use it when they moved Taka's body.
Although for why, I can't say.
That way, they wouldn't leave any bloodstains while they were moving it.
Okay, that explains the tarp. And the dolly?
I would assume to help move his body faster.
Same thing.
Scoot.
I'm sure the dolly was in the equipment room when we first found Taka's body there. But when the body disappeared, so did the dolly. Later, when Taka's body reappeared in the repository, so did the dolly.
In other words, you think they used the dolly to move the body. Am I right?
Duh.
But are you sure you are not mistaken?
There's blood on the wheel.
Are you absolutely positive the dolly was in the equipment room when we found Taka's body?
Yes.
That dolly was made specifically for moving large objects between the repository and the art room. It would be very strange indeed to discover it had made its way to the equipment room. Is it not possible that it was in the repository all along, and you simply didn't realize it?
I can't believe nobody but me right now. I mean, I'm guessing probably Kyoko and yeah, have probably figured it out too, but like seriously, y'all hearing her? She keeps on talking. When has she ever been this vocal about anything ever?
She's raised an objection. How do you respond?
With violence!
There is no shame in being wrong, and nobody expects much from you anyway.
You say that now, but when I ultimately prove that you're the one who did all of this, by Jove almighty, you're the one who's gonna look like a fool.
We have all accepted the fact that you rarely understand what is going on around you.
To be fair, that's not an inaccurate accusation. Wow, I've never had anyone sound so nice while being so mean, but maybe I can change your mind. If I can just explain to them why the dolly must have been moved from the equipment room to the repository. A new oh my god. How many things will be added? Let's talk about reloading. Starting with the next bullet time battle, we're going to add one more ingredient to the recipe. On the bottom of the screen, underneath the tempo marker, you'll see your ammo count. Up till now, there hasn't been a limit on how you destroy your opponent's statements. But from now on, just locking on and pressing the Y button won't be enough to handle them. Now, it will cost you 1 bullet to destroy a single remark. Once you run out of bullets, you can't destroy any more statements no matter how locked you are. However, you can reload by pressing the X button. Okay. Just like locking on, you'll have to press the X button in time with the tempo marker. Basically, just remember that the X button now has a function along with the A and Y buttons. Okay, so it's like A, Y, X, reload. A, Y, X, and reload. Gotcha. You will automatically reload at the start of fever time, and your ammo will not decrease, although I don't remember how to do that, so... Oh, but if your action difficulty is set to gentle, you won't have to reload at all. In which case, you can ignore everything I just said. Thank you, narrator. Well then, good luck. Wow, we're already jumping straight into the bullet time? Alrighty. Let's do this dance.
You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies
I'm sorry, I have to concentrate on this right now.
Do your worst, you miserable wretch. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere.
Oh, hey, wow, that was actually pretty easy.
I cannot agree.
Shut your stupid face, I've got lots of factual knowledge to prove that you are the fool that once did all the things. I English good.
If you're asking for proof that the dolly moved, I have it right here.
And I guess my pants? I don't know.
When I found the dolly in the repository, one of the wheels had a blood stain on it. There was a pool of blood in the equipment room with a tire mark in it that matched the dolly wheel's tread.
Yo!
The killer probably rolled the dolly through the blood on accident as they wheeled the body out of the room. And as the blood dried on the tire, they moved the body into the repository.
Makes sense.
So there's my proof that the dolly was used to move Taka's body.
Now shut your stupid face hole. Yeah, that's what I thought, girl. Jeez, does Celeste really hate me that much?
Well, anyway, that was just something we had to get out of the way. Let's get back to the main subject.
Okay.
Yeah, the subject of how Robo-Justice didn't do it. Because if it's not a killer robot, then what kind of robot is it?
Oh, you poor sweet baby child.
I'm not sure that really matters.
I'd be happy to explain why the occupant of the suit couldn't possibly be the killer.
And yet, somehow I think you'll probably make me do it.
If you look back on how the body was transported, it will become immediately obvious.
If I look at how the body was moved, it'll be clear why the person in the suit couldn't have done it. What does he mean by that? You're talking about the, how he can't bend? Yep, alright. Gotcha. Let's do this.
Taka was killed in the equipment room.
True that.
And from there, the body was moved to the repository, correct?
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
Well, yeah, but even without a handle, all you'd have to do is bend over.
No! I'm sorry, lady child, but that's a bunch of lies and slander you got yourself wrapped all up in. Knowledge
You're
bomb.
absolutely right that you could push a dolly without a handle if you stoop down low. But if you were wearing that suit, do you think you could actually get into a position like that?
You would know this better than anyone.
What do you mean?
You know this!
Think back to what you said when we were all checking out the suit together. Remember?
Ta-da! You can't see, don't do none, and it's because you can't bend at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
When
Come
you're
on,
in
girl.
that suit,
Catch
not
up with
only
us.
Can you not see your feet, but you can't even bend at the waist. Am I right about that?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
It seems like it'd be awfully hard to push that dolly if you couldn't bend over.
I mean, I guess he could have pushed it with his foot.
Well, what's to stop you from simply pushing the dolly with your feet?
Oh, there you go.
When you can't even see your feet? You really think someone could kick the dolly all that way?
Well, I mean, it's not impossible, just highly impractical.
Yeah, it'd be totally impossible. Not that I can say for sure myself.
I'm sure you've done this yourself many times.
On top of that, if you were wearing such a rigid, cumbersome suit, it's very unlikely you would have the dexterity to go about wrapping the body in a tarp.
Was the body really wrapped? I mean, I guess. I thought he just sort of plopped them on and started just dragging the tarp.
Well, I mean, isn't that just a matter of taking off the suit when you're ready to move the body?
Well, normally, yeah. No chance, you fool! Once it's on, you can never take it off. You can't take it off by yourself. Dun 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 dun!
I don't think taking off the suit was an option. If you remember,
I don't know if she was there, though. I don't know what's up with this thing, but I can't actually get it off. Help! There's a giant clasp on the back that makes it impossible.
That's true. It seems impossible to put the suit on or take it off without help.
Exactamundo.
Then you really can't take it off by yourself? Hero wasn't just making it up?
Nope.
Of course I wasn't making it up.
if he could have gotten it off by himself, I don't think he would have let us see him wearing it.
He's dumb, but he wouldn't be that dumb.
Showing up in the suit was basically an invitation for everyone to suspect it.
Ain't nobody that dumb.
Yeah, that's right.
So, it's really true that Robo Justice couldn't have moved the dolly?
As true as it's ever gonna get.
To be clear, whoever did move the body, it couldn't have been Hero in the robot suit, correct?
Mm-hmm.
No, wait. Just a second, if you please. Have you forgotten about the picture that I took?
Yes, the picture that you took.
You all got a good look at it, did you not? The image of Hifumi being dragged away by Robo Justice?
I admit that is what it looks like.
If whoever was in that suit is not the culprit, how do you explain that? Besides, do you remember what the now deceased Hifumi said?
I just remembered. She's the ultimate gambler. Ha! It all makes sense. She's taking a gamble. He hit me. What guy? Robo Justice. I mean, you know, the guy that I decided to name Robo Justice. Herp derp.
So long as those facts exist, the proper conclusion is beyond question.
All I have to do is just, you know, make it all make sense that, that he wasn't, you know, dead, and he was all a part of this. Accomplice!
The individual inside the suit and the culprit are one and the same. It was Hero, without a doubt.
So much blame deflecting. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's gotta be right.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, hold on, bro.
It's still far too early to reach that conclusion.
Makoto, do some more work.
Besides, there's no hurry to decide who did it.
True dat.
Before we rush to a verdict, shouldn't we explore every single possibility?
All 7 of them.
Instead of seizing on one viewpoint, the truth is uncovered by analyzing things from every angle.
Poetic.
Perhaps, but where do we go from here?
I'll tell you where we go from here. Someone tell us where we go from here.
Let's review this series of unfortunate events from the beginning. Maybe we'll uncover something new.
Okay, if we gotta.
What a pain in the ass!
Crap, I agree with Jill.
I don't disagree, but our lives are on the line. If this is what it takes, we have to do it.
Plus, maybe we'll get to find out where the heck Kyoko was when everything went down.
Doubt it.
All right then, let's take another look back at what happened.
If we
I
must.
suppose we could start with this morning. 4 of us gathered together in the dining hall. Makoto, Hina, Kyoko, and myself. We waited there for quite a while, but nobody else showed up, so we went to look for everyone. That was around 8 a.m.
And as soon as we split up, Kyoko went missing.
Soon after that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room and quickly came to get Makoto and me.
It seems I was unconscious for about an hour after I was attacked by my mystery assailant. I know it was an hour because I remember being attacked a little after 7.
That was when we saw Celeste's picture and discovered that her assailant had been wearing a strange costume.
I've just been getting a drink of water this whole time. I don't really have anything new to add to this.
As it turns out, it was Robo Justice.
Robo Justice, saving the day!
It also soon became clear that this same Robo Justice had abducted Hifumi.
Allegedly.
We were soon joined in our search by Byakuya and Toko, and then went on to find Hifumi in the library.
She prefers taco.
He was injured, so we took him to the nurse's office and resumed our search for the suspect. But not long after leaving the nurse's office...
Constantly pushing and leading us from one place to another.
When Celeste told us that, we decided to split up and search the second floor.
I mean, it's kind of funny, honestly, now that I think about it all in one go. She obviously put a lot of effort into this ploy. You'd figure she would have been able to find a way to make it less obvious. I mean, I guess she was billing on the panic of everything and what have you, but I don't know, it just seems so obvious.
And soon after that,
I saw someone moving around on the 3rd floor, and I yelled out to everyone as soon as I did.
How many times do we have to see this one flashback? It's like the 3rd time.
and then
More flashbacks to things we remember. I mean, I guess it's possible that the player took a break since then, but still.
at that point we decided to divide up into 2 groups.
I mean, if you had such a freakishly long break that you don't remember anything about the case prior, you would probably just start the chapter over from the beginning.
Celeste, Hina, and I went back to the nurse's office, while Sakura, Byakuya, and Toko chased after the suspect. When we got back to the nurse's office, we found Hifumi, dead. And that's when we heard the body discovery announcement. I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to the 3rd floor to let the others know what had happened.
Meanwhile, we had just discovered Taka's body in the equipment room. We must have found both bodies at almost exactly the same time.
Which raises the question as to why we got 2 dead body alarms at different points in time.
Because we heard the same announcement not long after we discovered his body.
I assume it's the thing is broadcast to the entire school, not just to the people who saw the actual body. It's an assumption,
And that's when I told
admittedly.
you guys about Hifumi. Then the 3 of us headed for the nurse's office. But right after we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who'd arrived after us. And she told us something very surprising.
Flashback!
We rushed back to the nurse's office and saw that she was right.
Then we remembered we'd left Toko passed out in the equipment room, so we hurried back again. But when we got there, we discovered that now Taka's body had also gone missing. Next thing we knew, we were searching the school for 2 missing dead bodies.
Which is just an absurd amount of dead bodies.
And after some time,
We located said bodies.
Celeste informed us that she'd found the bodies, and we all headed to the repository, which is where we rediscovered the corpses.
I think that about covers it.
I see. The whole thing sounds exceptionally complicated.
It is! And it took like 7 minutes to say all that.
It certainly seems to me that these are not a simple series of connected events.
Nah, it's a series of unfortunate events.
Okay, well, if that's true, then what?
Come on, girl, lay us with some knowledge.
Rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation.
Okay.
And from there, we can uncover the contradictions surrounding all of them. Now then, let's get started, beginning with what happened to Taka.
Okay. The contradictions hidden in what happened to Taka. In order to uncover the truth of this case, I have to find them no matter what. With my truth gun. Alright, what's my ammunition? The Monokuma file! Alright, sure, what's up?
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last
what makes you say that?
because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
Well, I mean, it is sound logic, but at the same time, I'm not exactly sure what I'm supposed to be shooting with this. Are they really in that order?
So...
Oh, wait, maybe that phantom thingy. Hang on.
I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last
What makes you say that?
because of the numbering of the Justice.
It's true
Wrong
that
button!
Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of...
See?
Okay, I just have to figure out what it is I need to grab a phantom image of and what to shoot. Because I gotta be honest, I'm kind of lost here.
Regarding Taka, I wonder if you thought perhaps it was. We already know what order they were killed in. Taka.
Wrong button! What is the button that I'm supposed to use in order to do this? I don't remember.
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed
Okay.
with Justice Hammer 3, while
Oh.
Taka's death came from a swing of Justice
What button did I use to do that?
See? So it's
Oh, that was the focus button.
after.
Wait, I thought I already used that button. I thought that was the shooting button. Alright, whatever. Sorry guys, I admit I'm being an idiot right now. It happens.
I wonder if what perhaps it was after. We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with
Okay,
Justice
so
Hammer,
numbering,
while Taka's death
and then we scoot along forward again.
Taka came.
We just have to figure out the we just have to, I'm not sure how this is a contradiction though.
I wonder if
I do not, but there's only so many combinations, so I mean, let's just give it the best we've got, I suppose.
We already know what order they
Do we though? Okay, apparently that worked. I'm cool with that. I don't see how that was a direct contradiction to anything she just said and how I used what I used, but it worked, so I'm good. Let's go.
Hold on. There's no reason to assume that the hammers were used in the same order as their numbers. If anything, that's just another way the killer tried to disguise their actions.
True dat.
So you're saying the culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order, but in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi?
Indeed.
Okay then, let's see the proof.
I'll show you the proof. Evidence that proves Taka was killed before Hifumi. There's something that relates to what time he must have died. The wristwatch! Yo! Although apparently we have to use a Hangman's Gambit to do this? Whoa, that's a lot of letters. But yeah, it's wristwatch. Alright. Give me an I. Give me an S. Give me a W. An A would be lovely. Now I could really use a C. This murder was brought to you by the letter H.
Now I understand.
I gotta be honest, the Hangman's Gambit minigame seems kind of pointless. Why can't I just pick it from the drop-down?
Taka's wristwatch. See? Look. It broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock.
it must have gotten broken when he was attacked by the killer. Because as of last night,
Flashback. Called it.
so if it wasn't broken after 6 last night, then he must have been attacked around 6 this morning.
And that would be his official time of death.
But if that's true, then he was killed well before Hifumi.
And before Celeste was attacked this morning, which happened around 7.
That's right. Taka was killed before any of the other incidents took place.
Poor guy.
That simple fact slipped past all of us. We made the wrong assumption about the order of events, all because of those justice hammers.
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size.
To throw us off. That's actually kind of clever.
That way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we'd easily make that wrong assumption.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, then everyone's alibis for his murder go out the window.
Ah, poopies. You're right.
Because when he was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
Which means everyone is a crook again.
That may be true in the case of Taka's murder, but all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
Or do they?
That's right. With him, at least, we're all safe.
Yeah, that's true. I guess except for Kyoko.
When we heard Hifumi screaming, we were all together. Except for Hiro and Kyoko.
And I feel as if Kyoko probably wouldn't be trying to deflect blame into anybody else, or trying to uncover the truth to this whole situation. I mean, she could have just said, oh yeah, no, totes, it was definitely Hiro. I mean, so, deducing
And
what's
we all
the...
ran
Oh,
down to the nurse's
this
office,
would make no sense for her.
That's where we found his body.
Yee.
That's totally true. We're all in the clear.
Oh, I know! They must have recorded him screaming on a tape or something, then played it later on!
If that's true, where's the tape?
I don't know.
Don't just go making stuff up.
Anyway, we all have rock-solid alibis for when we heard Hifumi scream.
Like abs!
Since all of us were there together, clearly none of us could have killed him.
And it does not stop there. There was also the moment when we discovered his body had disappeared. When his body vanished from the nurse's office, Hina and I were in the bathroom together, while everyone else was in the equipment room, correct? And then there's the disappearance of Taka's body from the equipment room. At that time, we were all gathered together in the nurse's office because of Hifumi going missing.
Well, don't forget, I was passed out in the equipment room the whole time.
True dat.
Wait, then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out of there right then.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Even if she could pull that off, there's no way she could have done the same with Hifumi's body.
Unless she's just deceptively strong.
Because, as we just established, she was passed out in the equipment room when his body disappeared.
Also that.
Besides, I didn't do either of them anyway.
In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed Hifumi or moved either of their bodies.
Yeah, you say things like that, but I'm pretty sure there was in fact a way this could have gone
On
down.
the other hand, Hiro and Kyoko had disappeared, so they most certainly could have done those things.
Okay, are we gonna have to talk about how he somehow got stuck in a pool locker? Like, you can't get out of those things once you're in them. At least he certainly couldn't with that outfit on, which means someone put him in there. So what now, Kyoko?
So what now, Kyoko?
Oops, sorry, I forgot voice acting.
For now, we can't get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles. So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how. In particular, I think we need to figure out how Hifumi's body got moved.
This how we gonna uncover that he never died in the first place?
That's true. We searched everywhere, but we couldn't figure out how to explain his body disappearing. And according to what Celeste said,
Flashback. Couldn't have been on for more than a minute or two. So how did I do it?
his body apparently disappeared in the 1 minute her and Hina took their eyes off of it. But to carry that much weight from the first floor up to the third in that short amount of time?
Oh man, yeah! There's no way! It'd be impossible!
Well, what if I told you there was a way to make the impossible possible?
Oh my god, she's a wizard!
What? How?
Magic.
If the dead body were to move itself.
Necromancy!
The dead body moved on its own?
Of course, it all makes sense. Zambies.
No! Not another... ghost!
I don't think it has anything to do with the occult. I think what she's implying is, we thought Hifumi was dead, but perhaps in reality he was still alive.
It all makes sense!
He was alive?
I love that I'm able to figure this stuff out. It makes me feel like I'm smart. I never get to feel smart.
Are you saying Hifumi wasn't carried out of the nurse's office, but simply walked out on his own?
Who could possibly lift all of his mighty girth other than himself?
But I mean, we found his body. He was dead.
Did anybody actually check a pulse, though?
Perhaps he was simply playing dead.
That it isn't possible.
How is it not possible? He couldn't have done that. He's not nearly good enough an actor. Is it really possible? Yes, it's the most possible of all. What's my arguments here? The wristwatch? I don't think that has anything to do with this.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
Yee.
No, it is impossible.
Nope.
Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
My goodness, you're bad at this.
How? Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Pretty sure I needed
Are
that.
we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Oh, wait, never mind. That works way better. Haha. Yep, the body discovery mount was only made once, except for when it was made the second time later. Oh, I got
You're
this.
saying that when we first found Hifumi, and there's a chance he was actually still alive?
He was alive.
Hifumi was dead, and you know that.
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of
Yeah.
Hifumi's dead body had been found.
No! Stop being such a hideous liar and a giant scoundrel! Slanderous lies!
Was the body discovery announcement that was made really intended for Hifumi?
If it was, why did we have 2 of them?
Of course it was. The announcement played right after we discovered his body.
Lies!
Maybe. But that was also the same time that Taka's body was found.
That's right. It wasn't long after finding his body that we heard the announcement.
So there's a good chance we made a mistake in there somewhere. I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
First of all, if 2 bodies had been found, there really should have been 2 announcements.
And there was!
Maybe Monokuma simply got lazy and rolled them together into one.
I mean, that is possible.
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail. But what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
That didn't answer our question, man. We're asking if you're a lazy bum.
He most likely is.
No, actually, that was plenty. He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time. Which means, even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again.
Then why did he when we discovered their bodies?
If that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Huh? Later on?
Exactly. We heard the body discovery announcement twice.
The second body discovery announcement the first time I played was when we found each body in the nurse's room, and the second time was when... when both bodies were rediscovered! Logic and science!
The second time in the repository, when we rediscovered the 2 bodies.
Ding dong, ding dong.
It didn't seem weird at the time, but it contradicts what Monokuma just told us, doesn't it?
It's true, but then again, a lot of things he does doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
And in reality, when the 2 dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually being discovered for the first time.
Hot diggity damn!
So, when we found Hifumi the first time in the nurse's office, he wasn't actually dead yet.
That's the theory.
Meaning, he wasn't actually found dead until we came upon him in the repository.
Yeah!
And that's just part of it. There's one other thing that leads me to believe he was still alive in the nurse's office.
The cloth?
Oh, I know! Because he was super good at playing dead! Bada bing, bada boom!
That is the worst logic I have ever heard.
And the ugliest face. Seriously, put that tongue away. It's creeping me out,
But
man.
honestly, I do not think there's anything that can prove he was still alive.
Except for the glasses cloth.
Okay then, let's take another look at the events surrounding the discovery of his body. Then it should become clear whether he was really alive or not.
Ooby-gaby.
This whole thing is pointless.
Yeah, you would say that. There has to be proof that shows Hifumi was still alive. I have to find it and show it to everyone. With my truth gun. Get ready for some knowledge, because I'm about to expose some lies.
Well, here's one thing we do know. The first time we found Hifumi's body was in the nurse's office. And then, while me and Celeste were in the bathroom, his body disappeared.
And the next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body after being moved, other than the change in how it was positioned...
No! Oh wait, crap! Crapola! Your meaningless words tire me. Please stop wasting time. Dang it! Crud! Dang it, dang it, dang it, dang it. I jumped the gun.
Here's one thing we
I jumped the gun and I'm sorry.
found Hifumi's and then
Alright, let's try again.
his body disappeared.
Trying again, trying again. It's okay. We got this, we got this.
But when you compare his body before
Yeah, shut up.
The change in how it was positioned, there was no notable difference.
Why you gotta hide it behind your web of lies and...
Was he really
it is impossible.
Shut your stupid face, lady. I got this. I got this. I got this. I just wasn't expecting more
Here's what
background
the
chatter to
first
get in the
time
way.
we found Hifumi, and then, his body disappeared.
Need more extra time.
It was in the repository.
But when you compare his body
Blah, blah,
before
blah,
and
blee, blue,
other
blue.
than the change in
Get out
how
of my
it was
face.
positioned, there was no notable difference.
Lies! There we go. Wow, I just barely made that one. Haha.
In fact, there was one clear difference between Hifumi in the nurse's office and the repository.
And it was so obvious that even Makoto took note of it.
His glasses. That fact alone proves that he was only playing dead in the beginning.
Perhaps you'd like to fill the rest of us in?
I suppose I would.
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood. But when we found him again later in the repository, they were spotless.
Mm-hmm. And the glasses cloth in the trash can.
Used to wipe them clean in the nurse's office trash can.
Yeah. The evidence I found. Ah, boy. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Here we go. Unless somebody else wants to confess to owning this.
A glasses cleaning cloth featuring a certain cartoon mascot. One look at the bloodstain on the cloth should make things clear. This piece of cloth was used to wipe Hifumi's glasses clean. And the mascot on the cloth is the same one that's on the digital camera, right?
As far as I'm aware.
And whose digital camera was it? Hifumi's, of course.
Aw, snap!
The character was Princess Piggles from Demon Angel Pretty Pudgy Princess, I think.
Unnecessary, but hearing it said in full voice acting is just the most cringe.
I highly doubt anyone but Hifumi would have brought something like this to school.
Mm-hmm.
I see your point. And the only people here who wear glasses are...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
You say that.
A few tissues is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Then there's no question. It belonged to Hifumi.
So what you're saying is... What exactly?
What I'm saying is, the blood on his glasses was wiped away using his own glasses cleaning cloth.
Yeah!
Even if that is true, it does not mean he wiped the blood off himself.
Why would anybody else wipe the blood off his glasses?
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses owner?
Okay, good. At least I didn't have to point out that hole.
That's a good point.
And it must have been him, right?
Yo!
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive in the nurse's office. He pretends to be dead. Then when he's alone, he wipes his glasses clean so he can see. Then he stands up and walks out on his own 2 feet.
His proportionately very tiny feet.
And with that, the impossible task of moving his copious corpse becomes possible, wouldn't you say?
Can we all just talk about how the fact that Hifumi being so freakishly fat is a very important plot detail when it comes to this whole thing?
But then, if he was just pretending to be dead, what was with all that blood? Was it paint or something?
The fridge in the nurse's office contains packs of blood for emergencies. He probably used one of those.
There we go!
He figured if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out, so he just dumped it everywhere!
That makes sense. It also makes sense because there was so much less blood when we found him the second time.
But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done! God, what an idiot!
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained.
'Twas Hifumi!
It should be perfectly obvious who must have moved Taka's corpse.
The one who moved Taka's body was Taka himself! He was also not dead! Oh my god. Layers. Anyway.
I got it! It could only have been Hifumi.
Yeah!
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
I feel so smart. It makes me happy.
That also
Which is good, because
explains why the door
this
to the
game is depressing,
repository
so I'll
got
take what I can get.
The door was locked?
It was locked.
Well, after the bodies disappeared, we all went looking for them, right?
I feel like I should point out, Toko's tongue looks like a jalapeno pepper.
So me and Sakura headed for the repository.
And I also headed there, but apparently that was non-canonical.
But when we got there, the door was locked.
I can vouch for this,
And the repository door can only be locked from the inside.
for reasons unknown.
Which means, when Hina and Sakura got to the repository, someone was already inside.
And it could only have been Hifumi, who just finished stashing Taka's body there.
He convinced us all he was dead, and when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository.
Although I honestly don't understand the point of moving the body.
So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
Wow.
But that means he took part in the murders.
Who knew he had it in him?
I just can't believe it.
If you're having trouble, would you like me to show you one more piece of evidence?
Please do. It'd be nice to see somebody else do something.
There's more?
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to his involvement has yet to be revealed. You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The item he took off of Taka's lifeless body?
The note! The thing that Hifumi stole from Taka. Could it be? Dun 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 dun. Here it is!
I got it! You're talking about the note Hifumi had hidden away, aren't you?
Yeah!
Hidden note?
A hidden note!
That's right. We found it stuffed in his pants.
Right all up in that pants!
In
In his pants. You know how when the power goes out in your house? Well, it was a lot like that. But in your pants. Pants!
Yes, his pants.
Let's keep talking about them pants!
Okay, well, forget about the pants for now.
Never!
Take a look at what the note says.
Is it about pants? Because if it's not about pants, I ain't interested.
That's the note I was telling you about. The one that told me where to go. Huh? Wait, this one's a little different. In my note it said, Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m.
I see. Then this note isn't the same one Hiro got.
Also, does the equipment room not have a camera in it? I think I saw one.
It's not the same?
Not the same!
In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hiro, and that person could only have been...
Hifumi's pants! It all makes sense.
I got it! That's right! Taka! The killer used this note to draw out Taka and murder him.
Hello? Over here! Objection! Objection!
What, jalapeno face?
I don't really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, right?
Yeah.
So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out Huffy!
What?
Just to be clear, TikTok is Taka and Huffy is Hifumi, right?
These nicknames are inane.
Oh, yes! Why must you ruin it every time?
Because it doesn't make any sense! Oi. Anyway, I can't let her get to me! I have no time for her nonsense! I must get to the truth and what have you. Ah, nuts. Alright. Okay, what are we doing here?
Huffy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
Huh. Okay. I mean, I have evidence that supports it. I mean, he's holding the rest of the note in his hand. Okay, but what am I supposed to...
Huffy had the note, right?
What am I supposed to do here?
Then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy!
But remember what the note said.
Wait, what the note said?
Did it say
No,
to meet?
that doesn't make sense.
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter!
My brain.
The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
Maybe? I don't. My head and my brain. Okay, the time on the note said 6 a.m. What happened at 6 a.m.? That's what I need to clear up.
Huffy had the note, right?
I guess?
Then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy!
I don't.
But remember what the note
Dang, snap, nabbit, dad, blasting. I have no idea what I'm doing. What am I supposed to attach into what? Dang it!
Then the
Oh,
person
boy.
it was intended for must have been Huffy!
Damn it! Stop with the nonsense!
Remember what the note said.
The note, what the note said?
What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m.
I don't know what I'm doing.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
I don't. Oh, brain, so much brain. I'm confused. Okay, I can do this. I can do this.
The note, right?
Right, blah, 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 blah.
Then Huffy!
Okay, remember.
But remember remember what the note said.
The note said, yeah.
What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
Wait, the wristwatch!
Matter. The note has nothing to do with TikTok.
Okay, fine. It's okay, but I'm on the right track.
But remember,
Nobody cares.
doesn't matter. The note has nothing to do with TikTok.
That's a character from Diddy Kong Racing! So shut up! Whew.
No, there absolutely is a connection.
Now shut your considerably gigantic head and let me tell you.
What the hell are you talking about?
Lots of things.
The note said to meet at 6 a.m., which is the same time Taka was murdered.
Boom.
We've already proven that using his wristwatch.
Although honestly, his watch makes it look more like it's 5.
But there's more. Look where the note says to meet. The equipment room, right?
Which is where Taka was killed. I see.
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place written in the note. I think that should be plenty to show that this note was definitely meant for Taka.
Well, when you put it like that. No further objections.
That was an obstruction to justice. Should hold you a Kent in court.
Then someone used that note to trick Taka. Just the same as me. The culprit really is a cold-blooded monster. Telling people they found a way out.
But if they gave the note to Taka, what was Hifumi doing with it?
He yoinked it.
Stuffed down his pants, no less.
Again, yes, we gotta make sure to stick on the pants.
Most likely, Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he died.
He stole it?
As in, he took it without permission.
Where's your proof? Go ahead, show us.
Fine. Alright, where's the other chunk of the scrap-o paper?
I got it!
Here we go.
When I searched Taka's body, I saw that his lifeless hand was gripping a small scrap of paper.
Well, actually, Kyoko found that out, but we're the ones that wrestled it out of him.
If I'm right about this, the sheet of paper this piece came from is... I knew it! It fits perfectly with the note we found hidden on Hifumi.
Then Taka's scrap and Hifumi's note.
Yup, they're from the same piece of paper.
Ah, snap.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note.
And rigor mortis is difficult to work against.
There's only one way to explain it.
The pants.
Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from its death grip, leaving behind only one small scrap. Did I get all that right?
Bing, bing.
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
Exactly. Which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder.
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah. After seeing all this, Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing for sure. In fact, he was behind the whole thing. In fact, he's still alive.
By God, that would have been an amazing twist, but no.
Sorry, no. When we found him in the repository, Hifumi was truly and completely dead.
Well, he woke up for a minute, but then he actually really
The
died.
second body discovery announcement proves that.
So then, who killed Hifumi?
I'm glad you asked, my dear.
Whoever did is the mastermind, the true killer.
Not the mastermind, just the mastermind behind this case specifically, not the whole grand scheme of things, although I would like to know that one
He
too.
was killed in the repository. So he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
So, he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the repository.
And we all split up, so nobody's alibi is spotless.
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body.
And I know who it is.
In other words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
Monokuma.
Wait, but me and Sakura were together.
True dat.
Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus.
Says Pippi Longstocking's deranged younger sister.
Who are you calling a walrus?
I am the Eggman, Cuckoo Kachu.
Anyway, when they were killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
And what might that be?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
The weapon?
The weapon.
Yeah, because I mean, according to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same, with them having similar fractures and all. But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right?
The washed hammer!
So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi, then put the hammer back where they found it. But wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
Risky business.
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all.
Everybody has at least a little.
Hell yeah, it's packed in there good and tight.
With protective fluids.
He's right, though. I don't understand it either.
It's the oldest trick in the book, washing the murder weapon.
The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments. But if the hammers were already laying around those other rooms...
It was a judo chop!
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of the hammers?
They didn't!
Personally, I haven't a clue.
Yeah, I bet you don't.
So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
Irrelevant!
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
Well, swing anything hard enough, you can kill... I mean, if you try hard enough, you can kill anybody with any object whatsoever. You think a feather isn't able to kill somebody? Oh, you could.
Then...
The safest objects you can think of can become murder weapons to the creatively minded or the extraordinarily strong.
Is it not possible they used a different weapon?
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
Well, to be fair, the same kind of thing just means a large, blunt object.
So then, what was used to kill Hifumi?
A hammer! The weapon that was actually used to kill Hifumi. The whole picture surrounding this case won't become clear until we figure that out. Somehow I have to find the tooth! But I have the tooth right here! The spotless hammer. Let's do this!
What was used to kill Hifumi?
The spotless hammer. Ah, crap! That wasn't a contradiction, though! Oops. Dang it, sorry, my bad.
What was used
I need to calm
kill
down.
Hifumi? Was it Justice Hammer 3?
Nah.
Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
Nah.
Well, whatever it was, there's one thing we have to figure out. How was the culprit able to move around so freely with the weapon?
Well, they could hide it in their frilly
Nobody
dress.
witnessed them carrying it.
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance! Check out murdergear.com/hammertime for more info!
Well, I just messed that up real bad. Maybe I should listen to the entire conversation before I screw up entirely.
What was used to kill
Alright, let's just zoom.
Well, there's one. How was the culprit? How did nobody... Sounds like a Justice Hammer! Check out murdergear.com/hammer...
Well, one thing seems pretty clear. The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice...
No! There, thank you! Thank you for saying a contradiction. This time I didn't screw it up. My God. My God.
The murder weapon wasn't a Justice Hammer at all. No, it was something completely different.
When I was snooping about, I found a slightly damp hammer.
But, seriously? A different weapon?
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The killer could have easily used that to kill Hifumi.
Well, all the hammers were from the repository.
Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris. But for
It's
some
called
reason,
debris.
One of them had been scrubbed clean. And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder. If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off.
Otherwise, it would look like
I'd
something went
also
down.
like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small ones,
The biggest one was still there.
and even some flat mallet-like ones. I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a basis for their design.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wounds being similar.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
Whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him.
Yep. And I know who it is, so let me tell you.
Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him.
Yeah, I bet you would.
The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else carry out a murder.
I mean, yeah.
So the idea That anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not?
We did talk about how there wouldn't be any reason for anyone to work together, at least that's what we thought at first, but... Nutter Butters. Okay, let's listen to the whole dang thing before I make any assumptions here. Well, the hammer's obviously not involved. Okay, well that's good. Let's listen.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
I'm not sure if what I just grabbed is actually useful for anything. Can we really say there's no chance two people work together on this? Obviously not.
The rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually...
I can only see one conceivable thing to do, and I don't know how it's a contradiction, but I'm gonna go with my gut on this one and hope for the best. Shakadong!
No, that's wrong.
It was a contradiction somehow! I'm cool with this!
Since there were two murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
Like one of them killed... Oh, I get you! Hifumi killed Taka, and then Celeste killed
What
Hifumi!
do you mean?
Boom, I gotcha!
If there'd only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Risk versus reward benefit?
Dude, how do you not know what that is?
The payoff for working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in a scheme. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you. However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperation becomes possible.
You're saying that two people could act as each other's accomplices to commit two separate murders.
Yep!
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime. And based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
Makes sense.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders. Instead, each person killed someone, creating two separate incidents.
Boy, layers upon layers.
And it only looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look. A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime, disappearing bodies. By creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all.
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan.
Mm-hmm.
And then, to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice.
Which I'm not sure if that made this easier to solve or harder.
Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
That's just awful. How could anyone be so cruel?
I don't know, but clearly someone did, hint hint.
Think so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
The effort made to convince us the two murderers were the same, that was the main characteristic this time. Kyoko must have noticed that fact from the very beginning. Her pink hair kind of just sort of, lets you know that instinctively. Which is why she said not to look at this as a series of connected events, but entirely separate incidents. Kyoko really is amazing. Although, when you think about it, she's almost too amazing. Like, it's almost unnatural how good she is at
I
this.
understand how an accomplice
True
was
that.
involved. But then, who was the one pulling Hifumi's string?
Do I get to point a finger now?
That's problem numero uno right now.
I don't want to play Uno. That game ruins friendships. The true killer manipulated Hifumi to carry out a number of actions, and in the end, murdered him. In the debates up till now, the way the case is unfolded, when you consider all that, there's really only one person who seems to fit. The person deflecting blame since the very beginning! Nerd!
Here's my answer. It was Celeste.
It was her.
So I'm the suspicious individual now, am I?
You are! My primary reason for suspecting you is the fact that you did it. That was their first giveaway.
I really do hate this kind of joke.
Yeah, well, I really hate this kind of murder thing that you did.
A joke? I wonder.
So what you are saying, then, is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi.
Yep.
The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would go within 10 feet of that shit from brains, that lazy, worthless goddamn idiot!
Whoops. I think your accent be slipping.
Pardonnez-moi.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
My oh my, that was certainly something.
Is that so?
It is so.
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the two of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
What is it that only Hifumi and Celeste had in common? Encountering the suspicious individual. You're right.
The behavior they had in common.
I didn't know that. I'm glad that was an answer.
Individual in the suit, doesn't it?
Because I don't think I would have been able to figure that out.
The only ones who ever actually saw Robo Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
Shush. The adults are talking now.
I will punch you so hard.
Sorry.
As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costumed individual.
God, I hate you.
If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
Well, isn't she like the queen of liars and whatnot?
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct? And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said?
We're finally getting to the most obvious part.
We headed to the second floor specifically because of what she claimed to have seen. Next, to draw us all to the physics lab up on the third floor,
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
Well, it was really a bit more fake and hokey, if we're being honest.
and when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said?
I saw a thing. Y'all should definitely go listen to me.
Once she'd done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work.
And work he done did. Lots of screaming all over the place.
It was to get us to divide into two groups, so that we would discover both bodies at the same time?
To create confusion!
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up.
She was the one who proposed quite literally everything, honestly. But hey, single out one specific thing if you want, whatever ends up making it look like she did it, because she did. I called this one since day one. Well, not day one, you know what I mean.
Celeste and Hifumi were working together. All those chance events suddenly become connected.
Anything to say about that, lady type?
And on top of that, that piercing cry of yours early on.
Yeah, that.
That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him, we're on the third floor. Everything's going according to plan.
Okay, that I didn't pick up on, but yeah, makes sense.
Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
I just realized another strange thing.
The evidence never stops.
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead,
Who was left there? And who let who out of the room? I did not imagine that Hifumi would be murdered. Ooh.
Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered.
So as to just say, hey, don't bother checking for a pulse or anything. Also, don't look if he's breathing.
You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
I don't believe it. Everything, the whole thing was one big act.
Hang on, she's yet to throw out any claims that I have to debunk.
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
I'm already expecting one hell of a concoction that I'm gonna have to weed my way through.
Yeah. I was feeling kind of sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom. Wait, then
That was!
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed.
Like her face. That's rude. She actually looks really nice. But that doesn't stop the evil that lays beneath the beauty.
Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
Come on. Tell some lies. Let's get this going.
I have no idea what you mean.
Yeah, I'm sure you don't.
Don't bother trying to deny it. You made one fatal mistake.
Oh, did I?
I'm assuming.
I didn't even catch it myself when you first said it, but looking back, I can say that that one little slip-up was your undoing.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
Oh, how she said plural. You had no idea that Taka was dead at that point. Yeah, enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. We're all gonna die here. We're gonna die just like those guys did. How'd you know?
I remember her saying that too, but I don't understand what's so strange about it.
Yeah, well, it's not too blatantly obvious, but just wait.
Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room. Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed. So Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the four of us headed to the nurse's office. Now, the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka being dead. Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Although I don't really get what it means.
Then allow me to show you.
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
Bakia said that the Celeste comic doesn't make sense, but what is he alluding to? The plurals. I don't know how I'm supposed to shoot a truth bullet into this, but okay. Well, the Monokuma file, no, that has nothing to do with
All
nothing.
I said was, they must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They
Wait
must
for
be
it.
Positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it, what was so strange about Celeste's comment?
Yeah, what? Boogers. Okay. I clearly just put that in the wrong place. It's okay.
They must really be enjoying this.
It's fine.
Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused.
I don't know if that's actually
They must be
necessary.
Positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died.
Crap! Oh, this is bad. Okay. Can't make any more mistakes. No more mistakes.
They must really be enjoying the sight of us.
Which one of this is the one I
standing
need?
around. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died.
I don't know.
And that is all I said.
I feel like those guys is what I need to puncture.
That's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it, what was so strange?
Oh, so
about
strange!
Celeste's comment?
Okay, I got it. Whew. Okay, please let this work.
They must really enjoy
We got this.
the sight of us
We
standing
got
around.
this.
They must be positively elated. We are all going to die.
I have this.
We are going to die, just like.
There we go. Oh. Okay.
That's right.
That was
There's
close.
no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died. When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall. So there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
That's one hell of a slip up.
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys?
That's true. Kyoko was also unaccounted for.
Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
So that's a double whammy. I was just rolling with the plurals. I didn't even think about the gender specifics. What you got, girl? Come on. I'm gonna puncture holes all the way through it. Yeah, you better be giggling.
You all have such vivid imaginations. You know that?
Not as vivid as the one who concocted a murder scheme, but okay.
Imaginations.
explain that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw.
Yep.
Then what about the picture I took? How do you explain this picture of the costumed villain dragging Hifumi away?
Good question! Someone help me out here.
It has to be some kind of setup, right? So let's put the suit on. And then she used the camera's timer to set up the picture.
You yourself said that the camera has no timer.
Have you so quickly forgotten?
Ah!
You are the only one who could have possibly fit into that suit.
I thought she was going to talk about how he pointed out about the timer. Oh well.
Plus, I happen to know that this particular camera does not have a timer. In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away.
Uh-huh.
If everything I told you was a lie, how can this picture exist?
Simple. Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
What could you possibly mean by that?
And I think she means exactly what she means.
Surely there are other explanations than the one you've offered up.
It's Hifumi holding him up?
No, there is no other explanation.
Yeah, you keep saying stuff like that. If it wasn't a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away, then it must be... The only other possibility is Hifumi and the suspect had been drinking. Is dragging the suspect. Hifumi and the suspect are dancing. Oh, I guess it's Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
It's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
Aha!
That's certainly within the realm of possibility. The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit.
Makes sense.
We've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around. And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
More nonchalant giggling. Alright, what's the next thing I gotta punch through?
Such a thing is utterly impossible.
No, it is not!
Hifumi was dragging him away? Ridiculous.
Is it? I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
I mean, the whole situation is unbelievably ridiculous, but I mean, please go on.
Then shut your mouth and allow me to educate you.
Oh, really? Think she can prove that there's no way Hifumi was dragging the suspect away. But is that really possible? It most certainly is not possible, Bart. It is whatever, the point is, she's lying. I got this. I'm not sure if it's the costume or the blueprints I need to use. I'm gonna go with the costume.
Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight. You tried to make me look like the bad guy.
Like I said, ridiculous.
I'm
You
listening.
can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious,
Don't shoot anything until I'm
there's
sure.
no way they could stand up straight like that.
Just wait.
The fortune-telling idiot is the culprit after all!
No way!
Okay, I think I know what I gotta shoot. I'm just not sure if it's the costume or the blueprints that I need to use. She said that she couldn't bend the waist, right. I'm just gonna have to go with the costume itself.
After I passed out. Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight. You tried to make me look like the bad guy.
Like
I got
said,
this.
ridiculous.
I got this.
As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could...
Yeah, please work! Oh, thank you. Oh, I was not certain about that one. Woo! All right.
No. Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that.
And that's why the suit was designed so poorly.
Because that Robo-Justice suit had a certain characteristic.
Yeah, can't bend at the waist. There we go.
That's right! They totally made a mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bend at the waist.
'Twas not a mistake, 'twas deliberate.
I'm not so sure that was a mistake.
That way an unconscious person could be all up in there.
I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was.
Whoa! The facade continues to crumble before me.
Celeste Celeste and Hifumi took the suit they'd specially designed and stuffed Hiro into it. That's how they were able to fake that whole thing. The point of it all was to make us believe whoever was in the suit was to blame.
Oh, things are looking a little bit shaky. You got anything else you want me to try and, debunk?
Well then, I suppose this is checkmate.
No, it never is.
Checkmate?
Oh, here we go. More giggles.
Don't make me laugh, you idiot! What do you mean, checkmate?
Oh, and the accent's gone.
Celeste? Clearly, you want to cram me into your little guilty box. Well, there's one little problem.
And what would that be?
Have you already forgotten what Hifumi told us as he lay dying?
That is true. I don't have an answer to that. Yeah, he did say Yasuhiro.
When we asked him who had attacked him, his answer was quite clear, was it not?
Mm-hmm.
He said, and I quote, Yasuhiro. In other words, Yasuhiro Hagakure!
I see.
Right, but my name isn't really Yasuhiro. It's actually Taro.
It is?
Your confusing statements don't make any sense. You're only making things more complicated.
He did say Yasuhiro, but are we sure he was really pointing the finger at Hiro?
I mean, that's what it sounds like.
What the hell are you talking about? I'll burn you alive!
I'm not a murderer, and I'll kill anyone who says I was.
Kyoko, what do you mean by that?
Think back to how Hifumi used to talk to us. How did he refer to each of us?
Oh, yeah! He did say last names.
I got it! That's right, our last names. He called us all by our last names.
Wow. It's a good thing those first two answers were completely silly, otherwise I might not have picked that up. Woo.
Exactly. I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi more than once, for example.
You would.
So if Hifumi did mean to say Hiro's name, he would have said his last name, Hagakure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it was just incidental. By chance, his first name.
Oh, is that so?
Indecent?
Don't talk.
Yeah, please don't.
Random chance. Now isn't that a convenient explanation?
The ultimate alibi. Random coincidences.
No. There's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal. But he must have run out of energy before he could say any more.
So Hifumi was trying to tell us the last name of whoever killed him?
But the name he said doesn't apply to anyone here.
I remember now. Twofold. First, Kyoko said that an e-pad notebooky thingy might come into play about all this whole thing. And secondly, when we first met Celeste, Makoto was all like, "Yo, what's your real name?" Because apparently I'm a bit confused as to why he was all about that, and why he refused to believe that was her name. I mean, it is really silly sounding, but at the same time, I don't see why you wouldn't agree at face value, but okay, whatever.
Well, no. Hold on. There's one person it could apply to,
So we just gotta look at her book and we'll see her name.
and that's Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is.
What did you just say?
Well, I believe he said you've never told us your real name.
To think you'd take your false accusation so far, I don't know whether to laugh or spit!
Well, you've tried laughing a lot, so, I mean, that hasn't worked for you so far. I mean, might as well go with the other one, see if it makes any difference.
Come on! Enough with your idiotic blather! Yasuhiro is a loser's name! Do I look like a loser to you?
Do you really want me to answer that for you?
Well, do I?
Too easy. Staying away from that.
What? I think I've earned the right to be a little on edge.
Yeah, you kind of jumped long off the edge at this point, lady.
Okay, then fill us in. What's your real name?
Make sure your ear holes are wide open and listen up!
Alright, hang on a second. My ears tend to get gunked up really bad.
My real name is Celestia Ludenberg. Could you please stop making me repeat myself over and over again?
Celeste still won't give up, so then I have to do something to make her accept it. Oh boy, here we go. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Make your argument. Do I got that ebook? Yeah, I do. Let's do this. I just have to make sure I pick a contradiction.
Hifumi was trying to
Only a
tell us
contradiction. Look through all of them before I pick
he
one.
wanted us to know the killer's last name. Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have that last name,
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
Look for a contradiction.
Times do I have to tell you? My name is...
Celestia Bludenberg, god damn it!
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending. It's the truth.
Or is it?
And since you have no way to contradict me,
Well, except for the handbook, which would definitely tell us your name, if it really is Celestia Ludenberg, of the Ludenberg family, then you will let us see it.
Dick, the handbook.
what?
What?
Anytime you turn your handbook on, it shows the owner's name when it boots up, right? Monokuma told us all about it before.
Please don't do a flashback, we remember. Dang it! Yeah, okay.
So all we have to do is check her handbook, and that'll clear up everything. That's how we can find out Celeste's real name.
Heyo!
That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to cooperate.
Well, then you're pretty much admitting to it then at this point, aren't you?
Celeste, can you please just tell us what really happened? Please, just tell us.
She's either about to do it or go real crazy.
Even when I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up.
Oh, alright, well, she's not in crazy mode.
Because...
Never mind, still in crazy, still in crazy!
Until the game's over, you never know what might happen.
Fine then. Let me settle it. Let me go over the case again, from the beginning, and shed light on all your crimes.
I'ma write and draw a manga about this
And
noise.
that'll bring everything to an end.
Let's do this! Closing argument, let's go. Whoa, that's an unappealing picture. Alright. Alright, what have we got here? What have we got here? Okay, it's just them chilling out in the room. I'm guessing... I think that would work? Like, maybe they're, like, shaking hands or something? Alright, that might work. What else do I have, actually? Before I even... Mosquito, the clock, a backpack. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Ah, the clock. Because it was 1 a.m. And then it was him. He was just chilling, relaxing out cool, playing some b-ball out by the school, when a couple of guys, they were most certainly up to no good, starting causing trouble in his neighborhood. Oh my god, it all makes sense now. Okay, he's in there. And then she takes a picture. Yes. Okay, alright. And do I have his watch by chance? I do! Oh, Taka. I actually feel really bad. Sorry, man. Alright. Then wank dang down with the hammer. Let's see. And it would have had to have been hammer 4? Because that's not, yeah, that's the thing. Hammer 3 was used somewhere else. I remember this one being the last one. That much is obvious. And it's definitely not 2. And I can't think of anything else that makes sense. The potato chips! Obviously. No, not the potato chips. Alright, we'll just slam jam that down there. Alright. That takes care of that. Then... what comes next? I feel like I don't have many things to roll with here. Oh, wait! Justice Hammer 3 is how he was allegedly attacked, right? Yeah, okay. He hangs out, and then he's all the bloody. He's just so dang bloody. Okay. Then what else would be there? Wait, no! No, hang on. Hammer 3 goes here. And Hammer 2 goes here. Wait, would a hammer even go there? Hang on. I think so? And we'll find out real soon if I'm wrong or not. Because I don't have many things to work with here. Alright, and then we're like, oh snap, dead people. And then, okay, this one's obvious at least. Wrap that sucker tight. My god, why are all these pictures... Like, even in death, Ifumi's just been treated like a complete and total joke this entire time. It honestly is making me feel really bad. Alright, and I guess that would be the final hammer. Okay, I think I got it.
The killer is...
Let's find out.
Before anything, the killer persuaded someone to help carry out the murder. And that person was...
Oh, there's where the potato... yeah, okay, it was a scene from another thing. Okay, alright. Potato chips? Yeah! No, seriously, what's with that face? Oh my god, what's wrong with your face?
The killer was able to execute a number of otherwise impossible schemes. First, they convinced someone to meet them in the rec room last night at 1 in the morning.
So far, so good.
That someone they met with was Hiro. The murderous duo intended to pass Hiro off as the prime suspect. So when they met up with him, they drugged him, knocked him out, and stuffed him into the Robo-Justice suit.
Although I really do have to wonder why chloroform was in the nurse's office.
Next, Ifumi positioned himself to make it look like Robo-Justice was attacking him, while the killer used a digital camera to take pictures of the assault. They did all this just to create evidence that would put the suspicion on Hiro. When they were done with him, they shoved him, still unconscious, into the pool room locker. And then finally, at 6 a.m., they moved into the murder phase of their plan. They called Taka to the equipment room. And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder. The murder weapon was Justice Hammer 4, which was left there in the equipment room.
Alright, so far so good.
The reason Hammer number 4 was used was to create confusion about the order of the crimes. So, next they falsified 2 more assault incidents. For these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims, to solidify Robo-Justice as the suspect. The first fake incident was the attack in the rec room. There, the killers wanted us to see Justice Hammer 1, and the Robo-Justice pictures they'd taken.
I'm not confident about this hammer.
They wanted to make sure we bought the surprise attack story. The second fake incident was the attack in the library. This time, they planted Justice Hammer 2 and an injured Hifumi to sell us that story. With these 2 incidents, the killers were able to create a certain preconception in our minds that the suspect was increasing the size of the hammers and attacking people in order as they did. We fell right into their trap and started looking for the suspect based on that. But
no, it wasn't. Oh, that was lucky.
while we did that, we left Hifumi alone in the nurse's office.
I legitimately didn't think that was gonna work.
This was exactly what Hifumi was hoping for. He took a blood packet from the refrigerator and Justice Hammer 3 and turned the room into a crime scene in which he himself had apparently been brutally murdered.
That really seems like a good way to get a horrible disease.
He let out a scream to draw us back, and when we returned, that's what we found. Meanwhile, The other group that had been out searching found Taka's body at the same time. So when we heard the body discovery announcement, we naturally assumed it was for Hifumi. We left the nurse's office, and Hifumi once again took advantage of the situation. He simply got up and made his escape. When we learned his body had disappeared, we all rushed back to the nurse's office. And once again, Hifumi had the chance he was waiting for. This time, he snuck into the equipment room. He wrapped Taka's body in a tarp and used the dolly to move it all the way down to the repository.
Man, a lot of these crimes would be easier to figure out if we just had finger dusting stuff, you know? But, gotta work our way around that.
That explains how each of the bodies disappeared. But even Hifumi didn't know what the true killer had in mind for their final act. Their plan all along was to kill Hifumi and get rid of the one person who could betray them. And they did it using an ordinary, everyday hammer from the repository.
Again, pretty sure all of the hammers are from the repository, otherwise most of them wouldn't be missing.
That should cover everything that happened in this case. And the villain behind it all is... Celeste! Sorry, you lose.
That was one gamble you shouldn't have taken.
Lost?
You lost.
I lost?
You lost.
When was the last time I was forced to utter such words?
A few seconds ago when you just said it.
They hang heavy around my neck.
Then you admit it? You're the killer?
Listen to you, trying to take charge, as if you're my private instructor. I, Celestia Ludenberg. Actually, no. Taiko Yasuhiro is fine.
Oh.
Taiko?
So, you finally accepted it.
I'm the kind of person, once I've lost, I don't like things to drag on.
Interesting.
Then why'd you drag it on for so long? Suppose don't matter too much. Ah, I gotta be in there. Doesn't matter! Final ranking an A! Good enough for me! That's a passing grade. The best kind of grade.
Okay, Monokuma. I'm ready to begin. Or, no. I suppose this is the end, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is indeed the moment we've all been waiting for. Time to vote, okay? Okay. If you would, please locate your lever and cast your vote. And when the votes are tallied, who will become the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Yeah, there really is no anticipation once they've actually confessed, you know? Ah, yep. Still using this. Charming as always. It's basically a formality at this point, but once again, you're totally correct. The blackened this time, the true killer who devised this whole stinking scheme was Celestia Ludenberg, or more precisely, Taiko Yasuhiro.
Honestly.
And I lost. Well, that sucks. I guess trying to work with someone else was a mistake after all. Hifumi's ineptitude was beyond all my calculations.
I knew it.
So you really did approach Hifumi with this plan. But how did you get him to agree? Can't imagine he would have happily agreed to commit murder. I'm sure she relied on her specialty, lying. My specialty? Don't make me laugh. I didn't have to lie to get him to agree.
So then...
Then did you use, you know? I knew you'd figure it out, Kyoko. You're absolutely right. To get Hifumi to act as my accomplice, I used her. For everyone who's still left, I'll avoid mentioning it by name, but it was the one thing Hifumi and Taka were both super into. Does she mean... is she talking about alter ego?
Say what?
Gee, what else could she possibly be talking about?
Just a
None of your business, stupid bear. Don't interrupt. We're in the middle of a very important conversation here. Yeah, why do I get the feeling he knows everything that's going on and he's just playing this for chumps?
In other words,
And you're the one that stole it?
Indeed.
That's right. Yeah, okay. And you used it to drag Hifumi into the plan you'd come up with. Right again. Last night, after we had our meeting about how it disappeared, I paid Hifumi a little visit. What are you doing here? He has a bunch of stuff in his room too. How are they getting this cool stuff?
Actually,
I was hoping I could talk to you, alone. It is about what was stolen. I know who did it. What?
are you okay
It was
with this?
Taka. He stole it. Yeah, except he didn't. What?
So
And I have
then-
proof. Would you like to see it? As it turned out, I found a use for the digital camera, and taken you-know-what to Taka's room earlier and took pictures of it there. I deleted the picture as soon as I'd shown it to Hifumi, of course.
Damnation!
So it was him! But how did he do it? She was supposed to yell if either of us got close to her. You were correct, which is why Taka forced me to steal it.
Say what?
What?
As for me,
Please forgive me. He threatened me. Wow.
Oh,
He did?
As for me,
He came to my room last night, unannounced, and then it's hard for me. Oh my god, you are not about to accuse him of what I think you are. Well, I just certainly lost a lot of sympathy for you.
what?
So, okay, wow. Gotta be honest, Celeste, you're kind of the... I hold the least amount of sympathy for your situation. There are lines you don't cross. And you crossed all of them.
Damnation!
Yeah. If it were the truth.
Say what?
Because he didn't. Fumi, why? It was amazing how completely he bought it. I can't express how enjoyable that was. Oh boy.
Completely unforgivable!
Oh dear.
most unfortunate.
And please, if you go now, you'll be playing right into his hands. Eh?
Actually,
Taka's planning to use her to escape, and he has made you his target.
What?
Escape, you don't mean. Taka's going to try to kill you. What?
indeed.
And also he can keep her to himself. Oh my.
Unforgivable!
Ah.
Completely unforgivable!
Honestly,
Can we allow him to continue with these barbaric acts? Absolutely not. How could I?
I will save her!
This is just wrong.
actually,
Oh boy. I've devised a way to reclaim what he has stolen and escape this dreadful school. With that, it is complete. What are you talking about? Oh, nothing. Wow, you just said that right out in the open then? Hifumi agreed without a second thought. The effect that item had on him was remarkable. The power of love, even a love as twisted as that, can still drive people mad, it would seem. You disgust me. Okay, yeah, at least I'm not the only one here.
I see.
I have another question for you. Is that strange costume Hifumi's creation? No, she made it.
indeed.
Yeah, it was a real pain in the butt, too. All I asked him to do was make something to hide the face and general body size. I had no idea he'd make something like that. Well, it's my fault for picking him in the first place.
But
So why'd you decide to make me the suspect? Wow. That's it?
Let's see.
And in that regard, I made the right choice. I'm so glad your stupidity surpassed my every expectation. Jesus! Come on, lay off.
Well,
But when you were explaining your plan to Hifumi, how did you explain the part about him playing dead? What she's asking is, what was Hifumi supposed to do after that, assuming you would actually let him live?
Are you okay with
That's
this?
simple. After he did his part and pretended to be dead, once someone showed up, I told him to say he'd been seriously wounded. He was on the verge of death, but he just barely held on. And he really believed that? Well, of course. That wasn't all there was to it. As I explained it to Fumi, the plan was, while you were all questioning him about what had happened to him, I was going to murder someone else. At that point, Hifumi would have had an alibi, so nobody could doubt him. I told him that, and he believed it. It all seems very straightforward. Stereotypical. I just matched the lie to the level of the opponent. In fact, Hifumi ate it up. He believed the lie wholeheartedly, right up until the moment of his death.
So in the end...
So you had planned to kill him all along. But of course! There would have been no point to my plan if the one who pretended to be dead did not end up dead himself.
What the heck?
How could human life mean so little to you?
Well,
That's a non-issue. I simply did everything in my power to win.
Don't be mean.
Now you sound like Byakuya.
I wonder
No,
about that.
he derives his pleasure from the thrill of the hunt. In that aspect, we are nothing alike.
Why?
Then what made you take things this far?
What the heck?
Was it really just for money? Are you talking about the $10 million Monokuma offered us? That is a lot of money, it's true. But that's not all there is to it. From the moment our new life here began, my only thought has been escape.
But
All along, you'd been saying how we have to accept living here.
You little bitch.
Yeesh, obviously that was a lie. Yeah,
Hey,
I couldn't take it. I hated it from day one. More than anyone else in here. I wanted to get out. Every day was fresh torture. And do you want to know why? Huh?
this is fine.
Because I had a dream. Okay, and accepting a life here would have meant nothing less than giving up my dream forever.
Honestly.
And there was no way that I could ever do that. In the underground world of gambling, I risked my life to make a metaphorical killing.
As for me,
And it was all for that dream. And what was that dream of yours?
isn't it wonderful?
To live in a European castle? A castle? What? And to gather handsome men from all over the world to serve as my butler/bodyguards. I was going to make them dress like vampires and satisfy my every need. The hell?
This is fine.
I see. Okay. That seems weak, but alright. Combined with my own winnings, Monokuma's $10 million would have made that dream a reality. I got right to the edge, but
There is nothing to be done.
unfortunately my dream has been scattered to the wind. Still, I don't have any regrets. I pursued my dream till the very end, so why would I?
Just the worst.
You sound so passionate, but you were really able to kill your own friends for it.
Oh,
Are you asking me to feel guilty? That's a pointless endeavor. I think nothing of sacrificing others for my own ends. I feel nothing.
do you understand?
That's all there is to me. That's what makes me complete. Isn't it terrifying how different our values are? There's simply no room for understanding.
What is this?
That's what we should be saying. And plus, how can you be so calm? Don't you realize you're about to die? Why aren't you scared? My ability to lie is unrivaled, and I take pride in that. It's not just other people. I can even fool my own emotions. The consciousness deceives the unconscious. And that's why you're not scared?
Yes.
That's right.
indeed.
I don't fear death. Kill me however you like. But you know, if I could be reincarnated, if I had a choice then,
Isn't it wonderful?
I think I would like to come back as Marie Antoinette. I don't think you can come back as somebody who isn't around anymore.
hey,
You just get executed again, yeah. Celeste smiled then, and when she did, it looked to me like a poor effort to force it. She claimed she could fool her own feelings, but that statement itself must have been her final lie. And that weak, fake smile is what betrayed her.
Thrills, chills, kills!
Just because I lack a majority of my sympathy for what's about to happen, that doesn't mean I don't have any. Like I said, I still don't want anybody to die. Not even her.
Now then, I prepared a very special punishment.
I'm sure you did.
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time!
Oh boy.
I guess I'll let Kyoko hold on to this.
What?
Huh?
Will it really give you the hope you're looking for? I can't say I ever saw it that way. Which is why... Actually, it's not important. Well then... Take care, everyone. Perhaps we'll meet again. In another life.
I'd like that. She wanted to die with dignity. And you hit her with a truck. Third execution is over. Celeste's death is over. Celeste killed my friend, so I can't pity her, but I also can't deny it. At one point, I considered her a friend, too. And for him to just come along and... Yes, your existence is that. Someone couldn't cut free from their regrets from the outside world, and so more people had to die.
Extreme!
You're just a huge hypocrite. If that's the case, why are you making them kill each other?
What are you gonna do?
What the actual hell? Nothing you say is consistent with any of the other things you say.
Let me out of here!
Too bad.
Ugh. It's my destiny to knock you down one by one. Yeah, clearly. It's sad. Blah, blah, blah. Don't talk like you're not responsible. How long are you gonna make us keep going through this? What do you want from us? Because the answer you've been giving is stupid and doesn't make any sense. Did I see some kind of key-type object from Celeste? What's the deal with that? There's no way in hell he doesn't know.
What?
So then,
I'll answer your question if you answer mine.
you...
What did you do? What did you do to me?
Ooh.
Huh?
Hey,
Answer me. What? What?
Ooh. How exciting.
What? What was that just now? The mastermind did something to Kyoko's body? What does that mean?
Hello.
Things are getting kind of awkward. I think it's about time I got out of here.
Well,
You can go on enjoying your school life. If you get lonely, give me a shout. Not that I'll do anything about it, of course.
see ya.
God, I hate that bear. God, I hate that bear. God, I hate that goddamn bear. Although it wasn't all despair, there was one small hope. Hey, Kyoko, Monokuma already mentioned it, but what's that key that Celeste gave you?
so...
What do you think it is? Yeah, it's where Mastermind is. Or not, Alter Ego, whatever. Well, then that means Celeste probably hid it in there.
Hey,
I suppose sometimes it's easiest to miss what's right beneath your nose. Well, then we'd better go check.
Indeed.
Good idea. We left the courtroom and rushed to the dressing room. As we approached the dressing room, Kyoko looked back at us and said,
Hey,
I'm gonna go on alone from here. Everyone else head to the dining hall. I'll check in with you later.
What?
Why, exactly, are you going alone?
so...
Do you even have to ask? As she spoke, she glanced quickly at the surveillance camera.
Come on.
That's not what I meant. Why you? There's still the risk of a spy, you know. Then I'll go too.
What?
You? Please let me go. Standing here arguing is just going to draw more attention to us.
Goodbye.
Do whatever you want. Thank you, Byakuya.
well then.
And it's up to you now.
Yo!
I'm gonna go to the dining hall, okay? So Makoto and Kyoko are gonna go together? No, it does not mean what you think it means.
Okay.
Hina, what the actual hell? Now is not the time for that. I tried to forget what Hina said. Everyone headed to the dining hall, leaving me and Kyoko there alone.
Shall we go?
Yeah, like I got a choice.
So then,
We need to get into that locker. Kyoko took the key Celeste had given her and unlocked the locker. As the locker swung open, we saw.
You really came.
There she is. Or he is. I don't even know. It's been a while, hasn't it? It's safe, thank goodness. Never heard Kyoko sound so relieved. It was like she was speaking from the bottom of her heart. I did just what Celeste asked. I didn't say a word. I stayed quiet the entire time. Oh, and I think I might be able to open the last set of files soon. Maybe as early as tomorrow. I'm doing my best, so please wait just a while longer. So now we can officially say the case is closed. As far as this incident is concerned, sure, but can we take a second? Since we have this opportunity, I want you to be honest with me. Kyoko, please tell me. What are you trying to do all on your own here at this school?
you...
Is that why you wanted to come here with me?
However,
Regardless, that's not something you need to know right now. I don't need to know? That just makes me even more worried.
what?
Worried? Like what happened during the investigation this time? You disappeared and we didn't see you again. Without warning, without explanation. When you do that,
Indeed.
It's only natural that they think I'm the mastermind spy, right? And you too. No! I believe in you!
What?
You believe in me? Isn't it obvious? People believe in their friends, right? That's why I want you to tell me. And I want you to believe in me too. Because we're friends. Well, how can you say no to that? I understand.
It's true.
Then maybe I can believe in you. Just a little bit more. Then...
That's fine.
Fine, I'll tell you. I'll tell you why I've been disappearing and where I've been going. You see... Oh, come on! What I heard from Kyoko then was... Well, frankly, it kind of blew my mind. Right after I told Kyoko I believed in her, she told me a story that was, well, almost unbelievable. I decided I had to confirm what she told me with my own 2 eyes, so I waited for nighttime to come. And when it did, I went into action. Okay.
Correct.
The boys' bathroom on the 2nd floor doesn't have a surveillance camera or monitor in it. And in the storage closet there, way in the back. Huh? She said it was way in the back of the boys' bathroom storage closet, but could Kyoko really be right about this? I can only assume? Either that, or this is going to be the moment where Makoto inexplicably stops being the main protagonist. Okay. There we go. It's just a normal storage closet as far as I can tell. The secret Kyoko told me about could really be hidden here. Way in the back. But I mean, seriously? Without thinking, I placed my hand on the back of the storage closet. And suddenly, as if I were being yanked in... Well, that ain't good. Gashunk. At the same time as I heard the sound, I fell through the wall. I had no idea what was going on. Whoa! What? Ba-bump. I'd fallen through the back of the storage closet. Eh? It turned out, the back wall was like a revolving door and I'd made my way to the other side. Just like Kyoko had said.
Correct.
In the boys' bathroom on the 2nd floor, there's a storage closet, and way in the back of that closet, there's a secret room. So this is the secret room. But what's in here? Files, apparently. There's a bunch of files and what looks like volume after volume of yearbooks. They're all covered in dust. Looking at everything, one file at the edge of the bookshelf caught my eye. Help Speak Academy Student Registry? This is the only thing in here not covered in dust. Has someone been looking at it recently? I slipped the file into my hand. Before I had a chance to take a look at it, a slip of paper fell out of the file and turned my attention to it. What's this? You must not leave. That's kind of weird. I could understand if it said, like, I can't leave, but you must not leave? What is this? My head feels funny. This strange sensation. It's like deja vu. Those words, you must not leave? I've seen them somewhere before. But I can't quite remember. What do I know? What don't I know? Oh, I don't like where this is. Whoa, okay, suddenly a luchador. Oh, that ain't good. A strange sound rung out through my head. It felt like it was shaking my brain back and forth. And then, darkness. I don't understand what's happening. I don't know what started it. It's all over. And with that, I opened my eyes. I don't know how long it had been. Ah, crap! Apparently, something hit me and I lost consciousness. And that's all I understood. The dull throbbing pain in my head proved that much at least. It was a luchador. That is weird! An empty bookshelf. Empty? Gone. It's all gone! The yearbooks, the student registry, and even the note that had fallen on the floor. It's all gone? What does this mean? But my brain refused to do any more work. The insistent pain in my head began to spread across the rest of my body. For now, I should go back to my room. Get some rest. Sleeping with a concussion? Bad call, dude. My body was heavy with pain, my mind heavy with thought. I dragged myself back toward my room. Looking for help was obviously simply not an option. Somehow I made it back to the 1st floor of the school. Gutnig. The farther I walked, the more I felt. Things are getting blurry, can't see in front of me. Arms weak, legs spaghetti. I couldn't stop myself from collapsing right there. And after that... As if from a vast distance, I heard a sound. It was faint but undeniable. That sound... It's coming from the gym? As I desperately hauled my shaky frame toward the gym, The sound got stronger and stronger. Crack daga. Gaguk biga. What's going on? It can't be nothing. You're in the gym? Okay. I didn't make a sound as I opened the door to the gym. The sounds coming from inside, meanwhile, only intensified that much more. Whoa! What? Huh? Before me, there raged a battle beyond anything humanly possible. No, one side's not human, that's for sure, but regardless, I couldn't stop staring. I forgot to move or even breathe.
Why, what do you think you're doing? I asked you a question. What's the meaning of this?
I also would like to know. I'm confused.
How dare you defy me? This wasn't part of the deal!
What? The deal?
I've made a decision. I will no longer retreat, no longer compromise, no longer regret. I've made my decision. I'm going to resist you.
Okay. But you do realize what will happen if you go through with this, right? You haven't forgotten, have you? What I'm holding hostage?
What am I looking at? What am I hearing? A hostage? What could it be? The mastermind spy is... Sakura? What?